Mike Lindell is many things. Of course, he is the CEO and founder of MyPillow. He is an infomercial superstar, and he has become well known for his early support and friendship with President Trump. Mike Lindell has also always been upfront about his history of drug addiction, and he has talked about it publicly, but not like this. In his new autobiography, What Are the Odds?, Lindell details his spiral of addiction from alcohol, cocaine, and crack. He spares no detail, writing about arrests, failed urine tests, and a gambling addiction that almost cost him his company. The book is What Are the Odds? And joining me right now is Mike Lindell. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me this morning, Esme.
All right. Yeah. This book is really a remarkably detailed story of your descent into pretty desperate times. Right. Why did you write it?
I wrote it, I knew for a long time I would end up writing a book because things happen to me all the time, like 1 in a million, 1 in a billion, or things put off to chance. And I just figured once it was written, it's going to give so many people hope.
Well, I do think, and I do read a lot, and I've read, there is a genre of addiction recovery memoirs. Right. I've never read one, though, that goes into details about what crack can do to you, and the difference between cocaine and crack, and you go into that. How do you remember these details?
Well, God blessed me with a good memory, that's one thing, and then also I kept things. I kept even proof with certain things would happen back then. I would keep the proof knowing someday I was going to have a book. So that it would validate the truth. You know, I wanted to write this book, and everything in there is 100% true.
Right. So I think we're looking at, this is a threat of physical violence on a Hardee's bag from your bookie, because you owe him $30,000.
In 1982, I worked at a grocery store in Chaska, and this was left on my trailer, and the trailer court left out when they couldn't get in, and I was hiding in a closet. And I knew someday I'd have a book, but who keeps that? I go, I'm going to keep it.
But you know, that's what's so, the details in this book are really remarkable. Also, what I thought was remarkable was, you lived in Victoria, you had a great popular bar, Schmitty's.
Yep, Schmitty's.
And you talk about all your friends. You write about how a lot of your friends were also doing drugs like cocaine. That really stands out. Are any of those friends who you mentioned by name in this book mad at you?
No, they love it. They know, all my friends, especially the ones that were on crack, they've all quit since they've seen me. I was their hope. It's like a hope match. They see, wow, if Mike can do it, we can do it. And, so many of them from back then that we were like a big family. I had that bar 13 years. And so I learned so much about addiction and how it can affect lives. And nowadays, everybody, no matter how many forks you eat with, are affected by addiction.
Absolutely. I don't think anybody is not affected. The cover of the book kind of flips and does sort of like a hologram of you as CEO, and then it also has you, that is you after being up 14 days straight on drugs, where your drug dealers were the ones that cut you off.
Right. Tell me about that. That was right here in Minneapolis. I was up 14 days. I had a warrant out for my arrest, and I couldn't go back to Chaska because I had to wait.
You had a warrant out for your arrest.
Well, I was waiting to go to court, which I was found innocent on that one. But I came out of the room down here in Minneapolis, came out of the room, and all three of my drug dealers were sitting there, and they knew of each other, but they had never met. And they did this intervention. They said, Mike, you're going to bed where no one's going to sell you crack anymore. And today, well, 2 of them left, and the other one, I waited till he went to sleep, and I hit the streets of Minneapolis and hid, and I went out there once he fell asleep. I came back upstairs, and he goes, how'd that work out for you? It was like 2:30 in the morning, and he goes, give me your phone, I'm going to take a picture, which is on the cover of the book. He goes, you've been telling us for years that that this pillow is just a platform for God, and you're going to come back and help us all someday get out of this lifestyle, and now it's come full circle. So,
how did you do it?
God, 100% faith in God. On January 16, 2009, I quit everything overnight, but that was like, people say, was that your bottom? It was almost like, I used to work at a drive-in movie theater. It was like 2 reels of your life, and I knew at reel A my calling would be gone, and it would be whatever reel B would be that second feature. And then I actually did go to a faith-based treatment center with my church at Living Word called Living Free to find out why I was an addict in the first place.
All right, and you, with the proceeds of this book, you plan to start a recovery network.
Right. Yeah, I did. I've been working on it 2 years. It is going to change this country. It's going to get so many millions of people out of addiction. The stuff the president's doing now with when I was there when he signed the opiate bill, the things, the regulations he's lifting to where it even for me to be able to do this is amazing. And to me to be, befriend him and find out that all these things he's doing that's going to help addicts because they're so, it's going to help through, when this launches, called Lindell Recovery Network, when it launches, and it's going to employ tens of thousands of addicts too.
Okay. Well, and I know a lot of people don't agree with you politically, but this really is a remarkable book, and I've never read one that details, as I said, the crack experience, and I think it's going to be helpful to a lot of people. So thank you so much, Mike Lindell.
It meant a lot when you got here. You go, Mike, the book is good. I'm going.
Well, I have to say, it's very well written. It's very good. It's very gripping, and it also teaches you how to count cards.
Right.
You made your living doing that for a while. It's something else. It's
what I wanted it to be the best, like one of these great fiction novels, and then you find out it's all true and go, what? This is real?
Yeah. Right. The movie's still to come. He's going to play himself. He told me.